Hello, my name is Keshwani. This Keshwani, Keshwani. We are here because we want to prepare for the GMAT. We have been solving GMAT math problems out of this book here, GMAT Review, the official guide, the 13th edition. If you do not own this book already, purchase one immediately. You're going to need it. The problem that we are about to solve is the one that you will find on page number 171. Please turn to page 171, problem number 136. Problem number 136 on page number 171. It says that we have a town X. We are told that 64% of the people are employed in the town X. Let's read it properly here. In town X, 64% of the population are employed, and 48% of the population are employed male. And we are told that 48% of the population is employed male. Question simply is, what percentage of employed people are female? That's all. What percentage of employed people are female? Very simple, very straightforward question. Since this is a percentage problem, instead of doing it in abstract terms with symbols and so forth, and using P for the letter P for the population and so forth, and doing it, as I said, in abstract terms, it always makes sense to save time. It always makes sense to plug in numbers, and a good number to plug in here in a percentage problem is 100, of course. So let's pretend that the town's population is 100. We're just going to pretend it, okay? We're going to pretend the town X is made up of 100 people total. That is the population, 100 people. Total. We are told that 64% are employed, which means 64 people are employed. We are also told that 48% of the population is employed male. So that's 48. That's very straightforward. The question simply is, what percentage of the employed people are female? Well, let's find out, shall we? Well, if 64 people are employed, and we are told that 48 of them, we are told here that 48 of them are employed male, then employed female must be 64 minus 48, which is 64 minus 48, whatever that is. 16. So there are 16 employed female out of total of 64 employed people. That is the tricky part. We're looking for employed people. The answer is not 16%. The answer is not 16%. It's not 16 out of 100. They're not asking us what percentage of the people are employed female. They're asking us what percentage of employed people. And even if they did ask us what percentage of the people are employed female, we still would not have been able to answer it, because we don't know of the remaining 32 people, we don't know the split between male and female. Anyway, they're asking us for employed people. What percentage of the employed people are female? Well, female are 16 out of 64 employed people. Out of 64 employed people, female are 16. The remaining 48 are employed male. So it's just 16 out of 64, that's all. 16 out of 64. 16 times 4 is 64, so it's just 1/4. Which of course is 25%. I was about to say approximately 25%, but that's silly. It is exactly 25%. The answer is B. The answer is B. Let's do the next one, shall we? That's it, we're done with this one. The answer is B. One more time very quickly. We just pretended it. It's not given to us. We pretended there are 100 total people in the town. We are told that 64% of them are employed, which means 64 people have the job out of 100. We are further told that 48% of the employed people, 48% of the population rather, we are told that 48% of the population is employed male. If 48% of the population is 100, so there are 48 employed male. And we know that because there are 64% of the people are employed, there are 64 people with the job, 64 people are employed, of which we just found out that 48 of them are employed male, which means there must be 16 employed female, 16 employed female, 16 employed female out of 64. 16 out of 64 is 25%. Let's do the next one, 137. Let's see what they tell us in 137. It says, at a regular hourly rate, job would cost $336. It turns out that the job actually took 4 hours more. So whatever that guy estimated, the worker that you hired, whatever number of hours that he estimated the job will take, it turns out that he ended up taking 4 more hours than what he had anticipated. As a result, his hourly rate came out to be $2 less. Per hour. Well, that's a bit redundant, $2 less per hour, because we're talking about hourly rate. It's $2 less. So here's what's going on. He has certain hourly rate in his mind that he wants to work for, and he multiplied that hourly rate that he wants to work for times the number of hours he thought it was going to take. For example, if he thinks that it's going to take him 100 hours to do the job, and if he wants to get $15 per hour, he would quote $1,500 to do the job. That's what happened here. That's based on the number of hours that he thought he was going to take times the hourly wage that he would like to get from the job. He quoted $336, and the job was given to him for a fixed price of $336. It turned out that the job actually ended up taking him 4 hours more than he thought it would, and as a result he made $2 less per hour than he would have liked to make. The question simply is, what was an estimated number of hours? What was the estimated number of hours? Very simple, very straightforward. So here we go. Here's the solution. Let the estimated number of hours be E. We're going to use letter E to represent the estimated number of hours. Let the hourly wage, that is regular hourly wage, that is, be $8 per hour. Again, because we're calling it hourly wage, to call it per hour is redundant. It's just H. Letter H for hourly wage is regular hourly wage. And if that's true, then from these two we get an equation. Whatever his estimated hours are, for example, as the example that one that we talked about, if for example I want to get $15 an hour, and if I think that it's going to take me 100 hours to do the job, how would I figure out the amount that I want to quote? I would multiply 15 times the number of hours. Same thing here. E times H represents $336. So that's our first equation. So far so good? but the job took 4 hours longer, and as a result, he made $2 less per hour. Now this, in this sentence here lies buried in this sentence, embedded in this sentence, is our second equation. Our job is to translate this English language sentence into a mathematical sentence. A mathematical sentence is what is known as an equation. An equation is the comparable concept of a sentence. And equations are made up of, sentences are made up of words, equations are made up of terms, and so on and so forth. So, job took 4 hours longer. So, originally it was supposed to take 8 hours, it took 4 hours longer. So that's your h plus 4. That's the first part. Job took 4 hours longer. That's this part. And as a result, he made $2 less per hour. Ordinarily, who would like to make h dollars per hour? He made $2 less. This is wrong. This is not h plus 4. It should be e plus 4. One more time. The job took 4 hours longer. Ordinarily, we would expect the job to take e hours. E is the estimated number of hours. You see, let the estimated number of hours be e. It ended up taking 4 more than that. So this is the number of hours that it actually took. E plus 4, whatever estimated number of hours that you had, plus another 4, times the hourly wage, which is his ordinarily hourly wage h minus the 2, because he's making $2 less per hour as a result of having gone 4 hours longer than he anticipated. But the amount of money that he's getting is still the same as before, which is $336. Of course it's still the same as before, which is why he's making less per hour. There is your other equation. That's it, we are done. The hard part is finished. The rest is downhill. We have 2 independent equations, we have 2 unknowns, e and the h. There should be no problem at all solving for either e or h. We're looking for e, so that's what we're going to solve for. The question is asking what is the estimated number of hours. We are interested in e. We are interested in e. Let's do it on the top here. So here's our first equation, right here. The estimated number of hours plus 4 more, it took 4 more hours than estimated, and as a result he made $2 less per hour. As a result, he made $2 less per hour. And this amount has to be same as that amount, which is e times h, because they are both equal to 336, you see? They are both equal to 3 times. So let's open it. E times h, e times negative 2, so it's negative 2e, 4 times h, which is 4h, and then finally 4 times negative 2, which gives us negative 8, and that equals e times h. With me so far? I see e times h, I see e times h over here. That cross, if you will subtract that quantity from both sides, will drop out. Let's bring the 4h, let's keep it here, and let's bring the 2e to this side. When you bring this 2e to the other side, it becomes negative 2e will become positive 2e, and negative 8 will become positive 8. Negative 8 will become positive 8. Now I see a 4 here, I see a 2 here, I see an 8 here. Everything is a multiple of 2. Let's divide the whole equation by 2. So if we divide the whole equation by 2, we get 2h equals e plus 4. Let's divide both sides by 2, so we get h equals to e plus 4 over 2, and I need the room now. Voila. We're going to put this one in that equation. We're going to put this equation, this h equals this quantity here, and we're going to substitute this part in here. Okay? So we get e times, let's keep it separate, e times h, which is e plus 4 over 2 equals 336. Multiply both sides by 2. If you multiply both sides by 2, we end up with e times e plus 4 equals 336 times 2, which is 335 is 672. Now at this point, before you open this thing into e squared plus 4h and bring the 2 6 here's what most people will end up doing here. They will open this thing, will end up e squared plus 4e, bring the 628 here, and try to solve this thing with the quadratic equations. You could do that. They would try to solve this quadratic equations either using the quadratic formula or by factorization. You could do either of those things, but only if you want to make your life a pure hell. Don't do that. It is a good idea at this point to glance quickly, take a quick glance at the answer choices. As I always remind you, the purpose of this exam, you must always keep in mind what is the purpose of the exam. Is the purpose of the exam to see how big of a geek you are, how big of a freak you are, how big of a nerd you are, or is the purpose of the exam to see how well you can think under stress? How calm, how collected you are under stress when the clock is ticking. That's what they're trying to see here, how well you think. Take a quick look at the answer choices, okay? I'm going to erase this bottom part here so I have more room to show you what I have in mind here. The answer choices are A, B, C, D, E. I'm going to quickly put down all 5 answer choices to make you understand where I'm going with this thing. What number was this one? What numbers? 130, 137. Oh, my page got somewhere else. 137. 12, 14, 16. 12, 14, 16. Now these 3 answer choices, we are not going to look at them at all. These are worthless answer choices. Why? Why are these worthless answer choices? We should be able to tell right away just by glancing them, like that, you should be able to tell. Just like that these answer choices are of no good. Why is that? Because as I always reminded you in the past, if you watch my videos from the day one, it is very important that you go in proper sequence, because there are a lot of things that I talk about that I don't want to keep repeating like a parrot. I always reminded you in the past that there are some basic fundamental arithmetic concepts that you must know, you must have at your fingertips. And one of those basic fundamental concepts is knowing the squares of some of the very important numbers for the exam. You should know your squares 1 through 20, and you should also know, just like that, what a square of 25 is. It's not a big deal to it is not a huge demand to expect that somebody who's sitting for a GMAT or GRE for that matter, or for SAT for that matter, any of this exam, even for the SAT, it is not a big deal to expect that person would know that 25 times 25 is 625. You must know that by heart. As I said, it is not a very onerous demand. And if you don't know what onerous meant, we'll learn that in a second. I'm not sure we actually covered this in our vocabulary lessons. In addition to the math videos, I also have vocabulary videos at my channel. If you're interested in improving your vocabulary, you can look for them at my channel. As I said, onerous comes from the word onus, which means burden, burdensome. Onerous means something that is burdensome, something that's a heavy burden, something that is a heavy, something that is a very serious or very heavy duty, burdensome task. It is not very onerous thing to expect. It is not a very onerous concept or demand that the person knows what a 25 square is. 25 square is 625. 16 times 16, you should know what 16 times 16 is. 16 times 16 is 256. So here we have e times e plus 4. First number and the second number is 4 more than that. If e equals 16, then e plus 4 would just be 20. 16 times 20 is not going to give you 600 whatever it was, or 672. It's not going to give you. 16 times 10 is 160. 16 times 20 is 320. This is way too small. We are looking for 672. These two answers are way too small. Way too small. So answer has to be either A or a B. One says 24, one says 28. Let's try 24 first, because for some reason 28 to me sounds too large. Why? I'm going to show you very quickly why. If e equals 28, then e plus 4 would be 32. Okay, keep listening. Now we're looking at A. Now we're looking at A here. 28 times 32, 28 times 32 to me is very close to 900. Why? Because 28 times 30, 28 times 30 28 times 30 is 280 plus 280 plus 280. 280 plus 280 plus 280, but that's very close to 900. Plus the fact that it's not 30, it's 32. Do it out if you don't believe me. 30 times 30 is 900. Therefore, 28 times 32 is going to be something very close to 900. 28 is too large. It must be 24. The answer must be 24. And now we're going to take one quick second to actually verify that. Let's verify it right here. Where can we do it? 24 is the answer. So we are saying that E equals 24. Therefore, E plus 4 equals 28. And 24 times 28. 24 times 28. 4 times 8 is 32. Carry 3. 16 plus 3 is 19. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 2 is 4. 8 plus 8 is 16 plus 1 is 17. 7 carry 1 and becomes 6. Voila, 672. What do you know? 672. It works. It works. The answer is 24. E, which is the estimated number of hours, was 24. Now what we're going to do now, I'm still not done here. If it were real exam, I like to buy insurance. I like the peace of mind. I find it worth spending. I find it worth paying the price of few extra seconds as a premium for the insurance that I'm going to buy, which will provide me the peace of mind that I'm looking for. I want to know that it was in fact the right answer. Should we find it out? It doesn't take that long. It only takes 5 seconds. I'm not exaggerating. It only takes 5 to 10 seconds. That's it. Like that we can find out if this answer is right or wrong. Let's do it. Where can we do it? What can I erase? Let's erase these answer choices. We are done with these. We're going to verify it right here. Okay? Verify. Now, what we're claiming is that E equals 24. That's what we're claiming. E equals 24. So 24 hours, which is our E, times the number of hours, times the hourly wage. Let's find out what the hourly wage would be. Hourly wage is right here. Hourly wage is right here, which is E plus 4. If E is 24, then it's 24 plus 4 is 28 over 2 is 14. The guy wants to make $14 an hour, so that goes here. And that has to equal the number of hours that it actually took him. Number of hours that actually took him was E plus 4, which was 28 hours. And as a result, he made $2 less than what he wanted to make. He apparently wanted $14 an hour for the job. And based on that, he quoted $332 because he figured it was going to take him 24 hours. It didn't take him 24 hours to do the job. It ended up taking him 28 hours to do the job. And as a result, he made $2 less per hour. So he made $12 per hour. Here is your H minus 2. Now these two quantities have to equal each other. And that's what we're going to find out. The reason why it's taking far more than 10 seconds is because I'm explaining everything. In a real exam, of course, I don't have to explain to anybody. You just do it. You just do it out. Let's divide both sides by 6. Shall we? I see 24 here. I see 12 here. Let's divide both sides by 6. 12 divided by 6 is 2. 24 divided by 6 is 4. Let's divide both sides by 7. I see a 14. I see a 28. 7 divided by 28 is 4. 14 divided by 7 is 2. Oh, what do you know? What do you know? I don't think it's very difficult to see at all that 4 times 2 equals 4 times 2. What do you know? That wasn't so bad at all after all. That's all. I will see you tomorrow, okay? Bye now.